We all love the idea of growing massive full-season crops that become the pinnacle of our gardens.
But tying up our most valuable real estate for months on end, or even the entire growing season, might not be the best choice.
Before committing soil and space to plants that take 100+ days to harvest, we have to think to ourselves, is there a better way?
So today, I've got 5 key reasons for skipping those long crops in favor of the quicker ones and keeping those growing cycles short. Less risk, less pain, but hopefully more reward.
We always talk about being on time in our gardens, as it's one of the most important factors that governs our success.
But it's usually in relation to timing and getting our crops into the ground when it's the right time to do so.
Time, though, can play another role. And in the case of those crops that take an exceedingly long time to grow, that role can become a huge disadvantage.
And the first of these is the opportunity cost, also known as the real estate lockup. Let me explain.
Slow growing and long to mature crops can occupy prime spaces in our garden, blocking us from producing multiple cycles of faster harvests. When measuring yield and production per square foot over the course of a season, the space, energy, and resources needed to bring that one long crop to fruition could be a massive opportunity lost.
Making a high stakes commitment to a single crop that locks down a prime location in your garden may not always be the best choice.
Don't get me wrong, we have to grow what we love to grow, and more importantly, what we love to eat. But from a micro farm perspective like our backyard, the math doesn't lie. In the exact same footprint with the exact same 4 to 5 month growing window, a continuous succession of fast yielding quicker crops will always outproduce the longer ones every time.
Another disadvantage of long crops is the cumulative risk that they take on, like this corn here.
The longer a crop takes to grow from beginning to harvest, the more risk we take that something can go wrong in the meantime. A prolonged life cycle for a plant means more ongoing exposure to things like pests, weather anomalies, shifting climate patterns, and any of the other factors that can take a crop down. It's simple. The longer it takes to grow something, the more chance there is that something bad's gonna happen.
Crops that take a long time also tend to be huge resource hogs, whether they work out or not.
Long crops tend to act as sustained resource hogs for water, soil, and of course nutrients. They often require ongoing attention for irrigation, fertilizing, soil building, as well as amending. In short, they need peak water and food for a massive portion of the growing year, taxing our soils and our own ability to keep up.
Another one similar to opportunity cost is the reduced flexibility for proper seasonal rotation. In other words, these guys go for too long, causing us to miss our fall plantings.
Although most late season crops prefer the cooler weather, to get them started properly, we need to get them into the ground while it's still summer. If these long crops go too far and too long into summer, our window to plant the fall all-stars is all but eliminated, further reducing our overall yields. When a single crop occupies a space from spring until fall, it essentially freezes the garden map for the entire active year. If we miss the prime August planting for crops like broccoli, cauliflower, and even carrots and beets, well, that's it. We run out of time and we don't get those things until the following year. For areas with a shorter growing season and a finite summer, this is one of those traps that's easy to fall into.
And finally, another thing that's easy to fall into is gardening fatigue. Just like long crops can fatigue our garden's soils, nutrients, and resistance to pests, they can also wear us down as well.
Months and months of repetitive chores without an immediate payoff and an increasing amount of risk makes the enthusiasm for this whole thing wane, while possibly increasing the frustration, especially if things don't work out. Quick turnaround crops not only give us faster rewards, but also faster feedback. Important information when we're doing things right, and maybe when we need to change things up, all without a massive time investment.
Speaking of time investments, that right there was a lot of information to take all at once. Let's go ahead and recap the main points to make sure that they all stick.
Not all crops are created equal. This much is obvious. Growing what we like to eat should almost always be the number one priority, but beyond that, some plants can be a drag on the garden. When we grow a single crop that locks up and freezes our garden map for the entire year, the list of disadvantages starts to accumulate. Tying up your soil, space, and resources for an extended period of time comes with an increase in risk, often without an increase in reward.
Hopefully, the 5 reasons we covered here today show you just how valuable crop rotation is. Whatever you decide to plant, though, happy growing, and I'll see you in the next one.